This is Molly Johnson. I'm an HDFS major from Boerne, Texas, and you are listening to KTXT-FM, The Raider.
Support for KTXT-FM comes from Daylight Donuts, located at 34th and Elgin in Lubbock. Daylight Donuts serves cinnamon rolls, donuts, and coffee for sit-down or takeout, Tuesday through Saturday from 5:30 a.m. until 11 a.m. Daylight Donuts, 792-4741.
Good morning, Texas Tech. It's Friday, April 21st, 2017, and it's time for Good Fella Friday once again. I'm your host, Brian Jimenez. Hello to the Facebook world, everyone listening in their cars on their way to work and or school. And we got the whole crew here as well, the original OG Good Fella Friday crew. Finally here for the first time after like a month of having this weird, combobulated group.
Yeah, Andy.
What I had a wedding
mainly
to go
Koke's fault.
Which was
for
a
like
lot of
3
fun.
weeks in a row.
No, 2 weeks.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I'm gone for 2 weeks, and you forget what time is.
You know what? You're probably right. I apologize. We got Andy Koke bringing you the latest in music news. How's it hanging, Koke?
It's hanging pretty strong right now.
I'm glad it's hanging pretty strong.
I got my coffee right here. Got my Daylight Donuts.
We're good to go, fam. We're good to go. We got a two-man crew for sports. We got Mr. Brandon Medina.
Oh, yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm happy to be here.
How's your morning going so far?
It's always wonderful waking up, having to come see you host, and just, see you do the whole good for like 25 minutes. I'm always loving
25.
it.
If I can hold that out for 25
you were
minutes,
in a higher key
buying
this
me
time.
dinner for
Yeah,
like
you were not. Yeah, you were in a nice key.
Usually
Nice
it's like
key
good, but he was like good.
Yeah, I was trying to come in with the energy. You know what I mean?
No.
I like it.
Also on sports, we got Mr. Andrew Marks in studio as well, as usual.
Morning. Good morning, sir.
How's it hanging, sir?
It's hanging well. I'm happy to be here. We're going to have a lot of fun with the sports discussion, so stay
it's going to
tuned.
be fun. We have a lot to talk about for sports. Looking forward to that. And, of course, coming back for her seat on the news booth, Haylee Uptergrove. How's it hanging, Haylee?
Pretty good. It's good. It's been a good morning.
I'm
Buses
glad.
Are interesting, but that's fine.
I'm glad. Run of the show over yonder is Mr. DG himself, the boss man. How's it hanging, DG?
It's hanging well. Thanks.
That's more we ever got out, Jamie.
Weirdest question.
Why is that a weird question? That's a pretty
just
standard
strange.
question.
Are you hanging?
No.
No one is hanging. I'm asking how it's hanging. Come on.
Nothing.
Now I feel isolated right
Just stop using that word.
now. Hanging.
Just quit asking
I'm gonna keep
people
saying
how
it's the
it's
wrong
hanging.
week.
I'm
Use
milking
that
it
word.
for all it's worth, man.
It's the
Milking it for
No.
all it's worth.
I don't think he knows.
It's the wrong word to use this week.
Who's
Also,
mad?
Josh Robinson running Facebook Live
Can't
as
make
well.
jokes like that.
Joel Skitty coming in clutch with the donuts. It's a good morning. We got the donuts, we got the coffee, we got the crew. I think we're ready to get into it. Haley,
Brian,
what's on the news?
plenty of things are on the news. Nothing too difficult today. We're going to get new chairs in the studio one day, and that's going to be a beautiful day.
Can't wait for that.
Me either. But let's go ahead and get started with the KTXT News Update. Attorney General Jeff Sessions says the Trump administration is making great progress in reducing illegal immigration. After a border tour in El Paso yesterday, Sessions praised federal and state officials who work every day to secure the border. He again called the border ground zero in the fight to curb illegal immigration, gun smuggling, and illicit drugs. Traveling with Sessions, Homeland Security Secretary John Kelly noted that more U.S. immigration judges are being moved closer to the border. It appears the execution drugs seized by the Food and Drug Administration 2 years ago at a Houston airport are going to stay out of the hands of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. The FDA yesterday ruled that the drug cannot be admitted into the United States. The federal agency says sodium thiophanate, is not approved for use in this country. Texas had previously used the anesthetic in its capital punishment procedures. A bill by a Houston lawmaker that would mandate 17-year-olds to be tried as juveniles is on its way to an uncertain fate in the Senate. State Representative Harold Dutton argues that Texas is one of the only 6 states that hold 17-year-olds criminally responsible as adults. Dutton's bill to raise the age of responsibility to 18 passed yesterday in the House, but Houston Senator John Whitmire is promising a fight over the legislation in his chamber. And finally, for all of you Spurs fans out there, you know this is not true, but Grizzlies coach David Fizdale is claiming that Kawhi Leonard is a robot, and he's not sure if robots should be playing in the NBA. Fizdale's remarks came before last night's game between Memphis and San Antonio at the FedEx Forum. Fizdale told reporters that he was recently standing next to Leonard and swears this year's likely MVP wasn't even breathing. Fizdale suggested that Leonard has antifreeze in his veins instead of blood. That does it for your KTXT News Update. Now here is Gigi with your weather.
Thanks, Haylee. The National Weather Service forecast for Lubbock and vicinity. Partly sunny with some fog this morning, then becoming mostly sunny later today. Highs in the low 80s with southeasterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour, shifting to the west and increasing somewhat later this afternoon. Breezy and colder tonight, partly cloudy, lows in the low 40s. And sunny and cooler tomorrow, high Saturday in the mid-60s. We might actually get down into the upper 30s Saturday night. Sunny and warmer on Sunday. Highs in the upper 60s expected, and looks like the warming trend will continue early next week. Currently outside in Lubbock, foggy conditions, 58 degrees, the relative humidity at 97%. Wind is from the south at 3 miles per hour. Now back to Goodfellow Fridays right here on the Radar 88.1. Good morning, Texas Tech.
It's a little bit cooler there. What do y'all think about it?
What?
The weather, it's a little bit cooler.
Oh, yeah, like yesterday and this morning.
Yeah.
Ooh, so nice.
Feels really nice. I can dig it.
Terrible. It's humid, though.
You know what was
It
really
is
cool
humid.
was Haley's pronunciation of
Yeah.
Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah,
How do
that
you
was
say his name?
Kawhi
Kawhi?
Leonard. You said Cowie Leonard.
I did not say Cowie.
You said Cowie.
You said Cowie.
We can,
Whatever.
Y'all
I
watch
done
on
heard
Facebook
it.
Live can
I'm not coming back.
rewind and then
Joel, you can
get
be
that
the news person
pronunciation.
from now on. Y'all can have a
So-
full-on boy
we
Friday.
have to throw you some shade for that for
You
like
have
the
two
next 2
San
minutes for
Antonio
that.
guys in this
I
group right
picked
now.
this story specifically for you, Brian.
I am
I made
completely
this for
triggered
you.
by your pronunciation of Kawhi Leonard.
Whatever. I don't even really care.
Oh, man. So Kawhi Leonard is a machine. I mean, Brandon and I know this. Everyone who's an NBA fan is pretty well aware of this.
You need to charge him at night, though.
Yeah,
Oh.
clearly he's a
Apparently,
robot.
you have to plug him in.
But yeah, I'm sure we can get into the Spurs game later on because I'm already pretty irritated with that game last night.
Pretty
We did not
hyped.
do too hot. But let's talk about this incarceration age story.
Okay.
So they hired it to 18, or they're looking to do so?
That bill is going into legislation today. Not it's not passed yet, so it's not sure if that's going to be a thing. But it was proposed yesterday, I want to say, in the Senate. And so yeah, they're voting on it.
What's your take on it, Haley? What are your thoughts?
Honestly, I don't know. It's interesting to me. I thought that the age of responsibility was 18. Honestly, I didn't think you could be tried as an adult until you were 18. So,
Well, we're one of 6 states, you said, right?
yeah, one
that's
of the 6 states that hold 17-year-olds criminally responsible as adults. So I honestly didn't know that. Good. I'm glad I didn't commit any crimes when I was 17.
Well, that's good. Proud of you for not
Yeah,
committing
it's
any
always
crimes.
good
Thanks,
not to commit a
thanks.
crime.
But I don't know. I think that would be good if they did that. Honestly, just teenagers are young. Like, it's just their brains are different than adults' brains. You know, like, so if somebody makes a decision to do something that they shouldn't do, like as a 17-year-old, it's very different than the decision somebody makes as a 30-year-old. You know what I mean?
I mean, I suppose,
But it
I don't
doesn't.
know if
It
makes
doesn't
a huge
absolve them
difference.
from any blame. It
Yeah.
doesn't It doesn't mean they're not guilty of whatever crime they commit. I just think like the psychology behind it's very different. And honestly, like, I don't see what the huge difference is between raising it from 17 to 18. You know?
I think there's just that grace period of like, all right, you get this one shot, and if you screw up when you're
Yeah.
17, like at least you'll learn from that. At least
Yeah.
you hope so. And then there's not a lot of growth between 17 and 18, but like there are people that will screw up when they're 17.
Right.
And that doesn't automatically mean that they have to.
That they're gonna
Yeah,
be
depending on the
experts for
severity of
their
the
life,
situation,
yeah.
of course. But
Well-
like, I've gotten in trouble when I was 17. And,
Want to share the dirty details?
oh yeah, I got in a little scuffle in choir class.
There you go.
And
They go hard at Plano East.
Oh boy.
and I went to the principal's office, and they're like, "We almost got the police involved." I'm like, why?
But
yeah, no, I mean, like,
did you
obviously,
win?
I learned.
Oh, so you didn't win the fight.
But it's just, I just feel like it's, even though that's not like, I'm going to jail for anything. It's just
but
you get that grace period.
Like in case you did something really dumb.
Yeah.
Well,
and ruined your life.
18, the legal age of adulthood for everything else is 18. Like you can buy cigarettes when you're 18. You can sign up for the military when you're 18. You can do all those things when you're 18. I don't understand why.
Everything besides alcohol.
Everything but alcohol.
You can go to jail, but you can't big boy jail, but you can't drink
go to
big boy
jail.
Yeah.
Big
Well,
boy
and
alcohol.
there's like I was reading this a while ago in Texas Monthly, this case about this kid. I mean, he was 12 when he killed someone, and he went to juvenile jail, and then when he was 17 years old, like because of his behavior at juvenile jail, he went into the system like.
I feel like murder is like its own other animal,
I mean, it's its own entity, but he's like, I think he's 38 now, and I don't know, he's still serving time for a crime he did when he was 12 years old. And there's a lot that goes into it. It's really interesting.
I wonder how your mind develops after that.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
It is.
How like going through childhood in prison. Yeah,
yes. So there's a lot in that case. It's really interesting, but we don't really have time to talk about
sure.
it.
Yeah, I wish we could go into it further. It's very interesting. I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about the whole thing, to be honest. But anyway, we have to move on. Let's go into a quick music break. We'll be back with some sports discussion. Lots to talk about in that, so stay tuned. Keep on watching Facebook. Don't go anywhere. Keep it locked to the left. Next up is Love is Mystical by Cold War Kids. All right, Facebook, thanks for sticking with us. Let's check on who's commenting. Ava Medina says, Andrew, my Spurs had a rough night. Yes, they did indeed. That was a painful game to watch.
Hey, that bet is still on, Abel. If your Spurs do not make the NBA Finals, you owe me a steak, my man. So
when was this established?
Last night.
Last night?
On our check-in, I was a man to my word, and I paid up on my bet with Brandon that the Utah Jazz would miss the playoffs. They did not. They ended up being the 4 seed. So I paid up that bet. I bought Brandon Medina a steak. We checked in at Texas Roadhouse, and then his dad was like, "Who wants to bet me a steak that my Spurs will make the NBA Finals?"
And you took him up on the bet?
I took him up on that. There's no. We'll talk about this in the sports discussion, but the Spurs have a tough road to the NBA Finals.
Dude, they really do. They really do.
They really do. Well, it remains to be seen. But Abel's pretty confident, so I don't know. I'm having some mixed thoughts after that game last night. Didn't give me too much confidence moving forward.
I thought they were always going to get 1 or 2, though, man. Memphis is always...
It'll probably go to 5, realistically.
Yeah, Memphis is always one of those consistent teams that just makes the playoffs but just can't win a series. But we'll take some games.
I just like how quickly they capitalized on the whole Fizdale rant, and they already had like T-shirts, towels, and everything saying they ain't going to rook us or whatever.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, they did. They're quick with it, man. They're quick with like anything. Like when Popovich was like, "I want some nasty," all of San Antonio had shirts the next day.
Oh yeah, I got one of those shirts.
What do you got? Okay, if we're talking about shirts, what do you guys think about the Defend Your Ground shirt from the Warriors compared to the Cavaliers Defend the Land? I knew that was kind of.
I don't know if I saw that.
Yeah, I don't think I saw that either.
Oh, you didn't see that?
I think either way, I guess that
was it a quote for something, or they just.
Well, Cleveland's always been Defend the Land, and then recently at the last.
So they stole it from Cleveland, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Thieves.
Oh, well, I mean,
Thieves.
then that just makes it dishonorable.
Cleveland stole that series last year, so.
I mean, they did blow a 3-1 lead.
But they stole that.
But, I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully my Spurs make it to the NBA Finals. Mainly just to see Andrew lose another bet. That'd be pretty cool.
Spurs.
But
if I have to buy another Medina steak, I'm gonna lose it.
We'll see what happens.
Did you bet on ounces? Like how big?
All right. Well, we're gonna move on to sports. Dunker, when let us know your thoughts.
Buy me a steak, Andrew.
No. Good morning, Lubbock, Texas. I'm Andrew Marks, and this is your KTXT Sports Update. LeBron James had 41 points, 13 rebounds, and 12 assists, and the Cavaliers rallied from a 26-point deficit to stun the Pacers 119 to 114 to take a commanding 3-0 lead in their opening round of the Eastern Conference Playoff Series. James scored 28 second-half points and completely dominated the fourth quarter. Cleveland outscored Indiana 70-40 in the second half after trailing 74-49 at the break. Paul George scored 36 points, including 21 during a dominating second quarter, but Indiana could not stop James and Cleveland in the final 24 minutes. In the Western Conference, the Grizzlies responded back in Memphis with a 105-94 win against the Spurs in Game 3 of the first round. Zach Randolph scored 21 points and grabbed 8 rebounds after being inserted into the starting lineup. Marc Gasol also had 21, and Mike Conley led the way with 24 and 8 assists. Memphis will have a chance to tie the series at 2 from the FedEx Forum on Saturday. Kawhi Leonard put up 18 points in the loss. Tony Parker was held scoreless for San Antonio, which was outscored by 14 during the third quarter. And the death of former Patriots tight end Aaron Hernandez has been officially ruled a suicide by the Worcester County District Attorney's Office in Massachusetts, and his brain will be donated to Boston University for study in accordance with his family's wishes. Chief Medical Examiner Dr. Henry N. Niels ruled the cause of death as asphyxia by hanging and stated that there was no indication of foul play. Hernandez's body was found Wednesday morning in his cell at the Sousa Baranowski Correctional Center, where the 27-year-old was serving a life sentence for the 2013 murder of associate Odin Lloyd. According to Hernandez's attorney, his family wanted to donate his brain to see if it displayed symptoms of CTE, a debilitating disease researchers say is brought on by forms of head trauma such as concussions. That's going to do it for your KTXT Sports Update. I'm Andrew Marks reporting. Now let's open it up to discussion on GMTT.
Man, this Aaron Hernandez story is just plot twist after plot twist. It just never seems to end. Now, I've heard about this $15 million thing. I'm sure you guys are well aware of it.
Yeah,
is it true or not?
The whole like where question. He ended his life for his daughter to get all the money.
Yeah, let's set it up and paint the picture a little bit better here. So basically, in Massachusetts, there's a rumor going around that, or not a rumor, just discussion. I don't know if it's true or not. I only saw it on social media, where basically, if you appeal a conviction and you die during that appeal, you're no longer convicted of the crime that you committed.
Like it negates that.
Yeah, it negates that. So if he was never on the books for this crime, he technically had no reason to ever have his contract voided by the New England Patriots. So some people are speculating, saying that his daughter is entitled to his guaranteed money that he had in his contract when he signed that $40 million deal with the New England Patriots.
Ooh. I don't know if that can be true or not. I mean, it makes sense, but I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of reliable sources confirming that fact. Like you said, I've just been seeing it on Twitter, Facebook, and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen anything.
I looked right now just to make sure. See, it was on, like, I don't know how credible, but USA Today, New York Post, and Daily Mail. So I'm not all too sure on like how credible that is, because some of those do have been like had fake stories. But she's 4.
Oh, yeah.
So like, yeah.
If that ends up working out and she does get that money, I mean, hate to say it, but I mean, at least he was looking out for his daughter, if that was his reasoning.
That was his last thing that he wanted to do. That's pretty.
I just don't know if that was the case, or if that's just coincidence, or if this is even true or not. At this point, it's just
it could be like a PR move. I don't know. I don't know how.
I'm doubtful it's a PR move.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I just don't think he wanted to spend the next 50 years of his life in prison. I mean,
I don't think so either.
Mainly my thought behind
it's weird though. Like just all the circumstances of it. That they found like a Bible in his room, open next to 3 suicide notes.
Yeah.
All of that
write
stuff.
John 3:16 on his head?
Yeah. There was, and red marks on his hands and feet. So, like, it's really weird. But
it's just a bizarre.
It is bizarre.
Story.
It's really sad.
You just keep asking yourself, like, why? Like, what led to this? I mean, to him to throw away his life and his career and his family, basically, by committing the crimes that he did, and then to basically, he would have been in prison for life, because Massachusetts doesn't have the death penalty. He would have been there for life, but at least his daughter could have went and saw him out. Now she's going to grow up without her dad. I don't know. This is a very, very troubled young guy, and it's just sad the way it turned out.
Yeah. It's a good example, though. Like, like you can have everything, all the money in the world, everything you want, and still just not be satisfied with that. And like, I don't know. So I think it's a good example of like, I don't know, you can have everything, but that's not what makes your life, you know?
Yep. And let's shift gears here a little bit. Spurs, guys. We got the two Spurs fans in the house right here, and Brian and Brandon.
Watching that game was pretty painful, man.
Talk about Game 3. I did not see it, but I kind of called it. I figured Memphis would get one in Memphis. I could see the Spurs bouncing back in Game 4.
I mean, after that game, too, I mean, I'm not really all that shocked, to be honest. I mean, they just rallied. That's what it is. We see it time and time and again. So, I mean, I'm not going to dwell on it, but it was still painful to watch, nonetheless.
I can never put it past Memphis, man. I went to Game 1, and Marc Gasol put up like 40 points, and I was like, it's going to be a long series. Like, it's just, he's been, all the big men on Memphis have just been really, really doing great. But then again, I mean, when you have, you know, a power guy like Zach Randolph going against the likes of like Pau Gasol, like of course Zach Randolph's gonna like punk him out, and that's
Spurs got to get more out of their backcourt. Tony Parker scoreless. I don't know what Patty Mills and Manu Ginobili did.
They've been going cold. For
however, previously Tony Parker was playing like it was like 05. The dude was playing out of this world. So I mean, I don't know, man. It just got to be more consistent. A lot of times it's just cold.
I still think Spurs win this in 5 games. As for the other series in Texas, we'll quickly touch on this and get out of here. Rockets, Thunder. Do you guys see this? The Thunder maybe rallying here and making this a series?
I say the Thunder take a game.
You think they take a game?
I think Westbrook is too deadly for him not to win at least one in OKC.
Yeah, I agree. I think they take at least. I think they're going to get swept. I don't think Russell Westbrook will allow them to get swept.
No, I say they take one and then
in Oklahoma City. Yeah, I can see it. I see both of those series in Texas ending in 5.
Yeah, but if it does come down to Spurs and Rockets, since we're pretty much predicting who takes that series.
Spurs, but it would go, I think, 6 or 7. I think they would tire them out, and then you would obviously face the Warriors in the Western Conference Finals. That's what I'm saying. Like I think the Rockets will tire the Spurs out, and then they'll just soften them up for the Warriors. I think the Warriors are destined for the finals. Surprise.
I don't know, man. I want this. I mean, I like the Spurs in 7. I think it definitely goes 7 though. Where there's no way we're beating
against the Rockets.
Yeah, there's no way we're beating Houston in 5 games, or I think
absolutely,
6 is fine, you know, like as a prediction. But I think even then, I got to give them at least 2 games. Like they're just so good.
Should be a really good series.
I think so too. Like I'm gonna piggyback off of that. I say if it does come down to that, I think it goes in 7 games.
Yeah, well,
that's if OKC randomly just decides to get it together, then hey. We're talking about
not when only one player shoots it 50 times a game. Can't win like that.
Exactly. I mean, that's just kind of me wishing because the Rockets kind of scare me with James Harden the way he's playing. So
sure,
that's just my take on it.
Good sports talk, guys.
That was a great sports discussion.
Yay sports!
Yay sports! We're gonna move on to another music break. We'll be back with some music news with Mr. Koke.
That's me.
So speaking of music, we got Shades by Alexandra Savior. Don't go anywhere, folks. It's Goodfella Friday. All right, let's check back in with the Facebook comments. We got Miss Medina saying, Andrew, way to pay up on the steak dinner. A man is only as good as his word. Meaning you're a good man, sir.
That was a pretty good dinner, by the way. Texas Roadhouse makes a killer steak.
They really do, man. They don't get enough credit for
me and Brandon probably combined for about like 12 rolls. Like we dominated those rolls baskets. They're free.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't blame you for sure.
Basket after basket.
Baskets on top of baskets.
Also from Miss Medina says, Haylee, thank you again for giving my pumpkin a ride this past Easter weekend.
Anytime, Mama Medina. She
made
me an Easter basket. She made me an Easter basket, yes.
How come you don't get Easter baskets?
Because you don't
actually drove
things.
A pumpkin for her.
Wow, that hurt a little bit, Haylee.
I got 2 Easter baskets for Easter.
2?
Yeah, my mom made me one too.
I got a Whataburger gift card.
There you go.
So
I got nothing.
I got nothing.
Zilch? Man, I'm sorry.
We're too old for that.
No, we're not. What are you talking about?
My brother's 31. I'm about to be 27. We're just too old for that.
No,
There's
you're
nothing
not.
wrong with getting an Easter gift, man.
I got.
I
had a wedding to go to, so I got a hangover for Easter.
Oh well, that's always good.
That's nice.
That's a good
I had a great wedding though.
Do you understand why we were saying at the beginning of the show now, though, when you kept asking how people are hanging, that we were telling you to stop it?
I mean,
do you understand now?
I mean, y'all were giving me looks. I'm like, oh well, I have to keep the guy
Guys,
going
it's sensitive.
Since when are we ever sensitive on the show?
Normally I would show sympathy.
To each other.
Normally I would show sympathy and be sensitive towards stuff, but when it comes to this case, I don't really care.
Yeah, it's KTXTs. You know, no one's
I'm
safe in this world.
Yeah, like
no one's safe in this world.
But when it's about Aaron Hernandez, we don't necessarily have to be super sensitive.
Yes, you should be.
I don't really have to be sympathy for the man.
We don't necessarily have to be sensitive.
The way he died is we can't joke about that.
I'm not joking about it. I'm just saying, like.
No, but I think I get the point you're trying to make.
Yeah.
For sure. But I don't want to talk about suicide in this Facebook break.
Yeah.
This is where we kind of unwind in between for
not get stressed out.
You don't want to spend GMTT talking about that?
No, I would actually rather not like to talk about that. But other comments, Miss Marks says, "Good morning, folks. Howdy, Carla." It's always good to see Mama Marks and Mama Medina get
Have
along
they
in
actually
Facebook
met
comments.
in real life?
They haven't, but
That's
we
awesome.
need to make that happen.
That's so funny.
Like, what are the last
that'd
episodes?
be a heck of a time if they did.
What if we all got together and just did, like, a mom's edition?
Okay, so high key, check this out. So my parents come up on Tuesday. Friday, my mom's going to be here, so we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. But we got music news on the way. Don't go anywhere, folks. All right, well, we got some music news with Andy Koke. We got some music news with Andy Koke. Koke, what you got for us?
Hi, hello, good morning. My name is Andy Koke, and here is your weekly music news update. Tyler, the Creator, and Bill Nye the Science Guy are really good friends, believe it or not, but that's not the news. What's interesting is that Tyler is behind a new theme song for Bill Nye's new Netflix show, Bill Nye Saves the World, where Bill talks to science experts and famous people about science and important issues that touch all of our lives. The song plays homage to the original while adding Tyler's own creative style, which is pretty cool. The series comes out today, actually, so go watch it on Netflix. Bill Nye the Science Guy Saves the World. Time Magazine recently announced their top 100 most influential people in 2017. Most notably, Chance the Rapper and Donald Glover. Both of these artists have been on fire the past couple of years, with Glover having just released his new album, Awaken My Love, and his show, Atlanta, winning Golden Globes for Best Actor and Best TV Series for a musical or comedy. And also Chance doing work at the Grammys this year for his latest album, Coloring Book, and all of his commercial and philanthropic success goes to show that no matter where you come from, you can be the best at something. Finally, Prince is back in the news with a new EP called Deliverance. But this has stirred up some commotion with Prince's estate and Paisley Park Enterprising filing a lawsuit to block the album from surfacing. While the single is still off the new album is still available for purchase, the album is still up in the air. George Ian Boxell, the man who engineered the EP, is the one being sued and is the one attempting its release. Prince's estate released a statement saying that Boxell is now attempting to release tracks without the authorization of the estate and in violation of the agreement and applicable law. On another note, according to Billboard reports, Prince has sold more albums than anyone else in 2016, with 2.23 million albums sold. That beats out renowned artists such as Adele, who only sold 2.2 million albums. The most albums that were sold most of the albums that were sold were after his death, majority being the very best of Prince and 1984's Purple Rain. That'll be it for music news. Let's go back into Good Morning Texas Tech.
All right. Well, a really interesting story with this Prince thing. I actually read up on that a little bit. Koke, what's your take? Do you think it should be released? Shouldn't be?
Man, I think music is for the people, but I feel like if it should be if it should be released, it definitely should be okayed with his whole entire estate. I know how stingy they are with Prince's personal music. I don't know. As a fan, I want to hear it. I really, really do.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's not okayed through, the people who I get now own it, it's just and the people in Prince's lives that are looking out for him. I just feel like I want them to get this resolved as soon as possible, so I can just listen to it. I have yet to listen to the single. Probably going to do that after the show. But yeah, I mean, you could just feel the heartache from everyone just like buying all of his albums. These are physical copies. These are online downloads, things of that nature. All those together, beating out huge artists just the month right after he dies. Like he's a phenomenon.
For sure. And opinions for the rest of the group, Brandon, what's your thought?
I love Prince. I think he's absolutely one of the most influential artists of all time, especially when it comes to like pop and just dance music in general.
And guitar.
Yeah, guitar. And I think just his flamboyant personality, because I think he not only was an artist, but I think he was like made to like entertain, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The guy was a great entertainer. So I think any new music would be fantastic. However, like Koke said, if it's not all right with, the owners of the music or his family and stuff like that, then I think don't step on any toes, especially if it's not okay with the family.
For sure. Andrew?
Pretty much the same thing. I'm not a huge Prince fan. I don't listen to his music very often, but for his fans, I hope it does get released, because obviously they would get a kick out of it. But like they said, if the family and the people who own it don't want it released, then it is what it is. That's just the business of it.
DG, do you want to chime in if you want? I know you're a huge Prince fan. DG's
not here.
Oh, DG.
Oh, he's not here?
DG's going to give his hot take on it.
DG's
But real quick, I guess Haylee as DG.
What was the question?
What do you think about Prince releasing new music?
Well, supposedly he has, if I understand correctly, he has more music unreleased than has been released, and so theoretically they could be releasing it for years to come, which would be interesting for the record company. I don't know who holds the rights to his music, but don't think they haven't considered that. So I would think it will be very lucrative for them in years to come. But like you, I too am a fan. I would love to hear more of his releases. But most of those artists, there's some music that should probably never play the light of day. You know what I'm saying? Some stuff is good, but there's probably some good reasons.
It can't all be good. I mean,
that's my point. I don't think it's all going to be stuff. Yeah, here's something we pounded out back in the alley behind the theater, and
but like unreleased stuff since like the 80s and 90s. I mean,
but I think most of it will be good, knowing him.
Yeah.
I mean, he wrote so many good tunes, original tunes for himself, and then for so many other artists throughout the 80s. What was really surprising to me was how much music he wrote that other 80s stars sang and made into big, popular works themselves.
Right.
So he was quite the, not just the singer, but a very prolific author of compositions. But I don't think for a minute that the copyright holders to his albums and the other works won't be releasing those over time. They will. If Peter Jackson can take The Hobbit, which is less than 400 pages, and turn it into a 6-movie deal, I think the copyright holders of Prince's music can spread it out over time as well. So the good news is we should be enjoying Prince's tunes for years to come.
Interesting take on that. Haylee, I didn't get your opinion on this. Do you think it should be released? Do you think they should leave it alone? What's your opinion?
I don't know. I kind of agree with Andrew. I think the people that are holding it, that if they don't want it released, that's one thing. But I know people that are Prince fans. Like my mom loves Prince, and I think any connection to the singer would be really special for them. So I really think it just depends on the people who are in charge of releasing that. If that's what they want to do, then that would be really great for all the fans that miss Prince a lot.
Yeah, I think we're all pretty much on the same page here. As Haylee struggles with the chair.
That's two.
We're gonna take tallies for that. But yeah, I think we're all just kind of on the same page here. Like as fans, we would love to see that release and see what has been released to the public and see what he was working on before his final days. Yeah. But on the same time, it's a little bit.
You got to respect.
You have to respect the family's wishes. So it's tough. It's tough. But we would love to hear y'all's thoughts on Facebook. So feel free to leave your opinions in the comments section. But before we move on to another music break, we have another news and weather update with Mr. DG and Haylee. Haylee.
Thanks, Brian. All right, let's take a quick look at your KTXT news update before we get back to the music here on Good Morning Texas Tech. The deportation of a dreamer in California is causing nightmares here in Texas. California's Juan Manuel Montez was deported to Mexico recently for violating the terms of the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals Program, or DACA. La Union del Pueblo Entero, or LUPE, calls the deportation an example of how anybody is fair game to the Trump administration. Lupe's John Michael Torres tells KRGV Channel 5 News DACA members he worked with are nervous that they could be separated from their families. In Edinburgh, Texas, after more than half a century, an accused killer could be brought to justice, but it might not happen where the crime took place. Lawyers for former priest John Fiat have asked for a change of venue in his upcoming murder trial. The 84-year-old Fiat was arrested last year for killing former teacher and beauty queen Irene Garza 55 years ago. Fiat's lawyers say there's too much publicity in the case for him to get a fair trial in the Valley, and News Center 23 says a decision will be made next month. A bizarre car crash has left a woman dead and police looking for answers. The crash happened yesterday afternoon near La Fiera on FM 2556 near Business 83. DPS says the woman lost control of her car, spun off the road, landed in a canal, and passed away. Investigators are trying to figure out why she may have lost control of her vehicle. That does it for your KTXT half-hour news update. Now here is DG with your weather.
Thanks, Haylee. The National Weather Service forecast for Lubbock and vicinity, starting off with cloudy and foggy conditions, but mostly sunny skies expected later today. Highs in the lower 80s with westerly winds 10 to 20 miles per hour expected this afternoon. Cooler, breezy, and partly cloudy tonight. Lows in the lower 40s. Northerly winds 15 to 25 miles per hour forecast. And sunny and cooler tomorrow. High Saturday in the mid-60s. Looks like lows tomorrow night around 40, maybe even in the upper 30s. Not expecting anything freezing-wise, but it's going to be chilly over the weekend. And more sunny weather with highs in the 60s on Sunday. Looks like a warming trend expected early next week. Currently outside in Lubbock, fair skies, 58 degrees, the relative humidity at 97%, wind is from the south at 3 miles per hour. Goodfellow Fridays continues here on the Raider. Here is On the Level by Mac DeMarco, here on the Raider, 88.1.
Facebook, what is good, everyone? So,
hey, can I hijack this just real quick?
Hijack it.
Because we're not going to have a GMTT until the NFL draft. So real quickly,
sure.
Final take on where you think Patrick Mahomes goes.
Oh, boy. I'm not going to go as far.
Just give me a team.
It's like Brian, all I asked was just give me a team.
I'm going to say the Houston Texans, but they're going to trade up into the top 10 to get him. That's my prediction.
I'm going to say Texans as well.
Who's he going to learn under, though?
He's not. He's going to be the starter.
I'm going to say I want the Texans, but just to be different, I would like to see him go to the Cardinals or the Steelers.
Yes, I'd love that. Cardinals, Steelers, Saints, love that, but I think
Saints like him a lot.
I think the Texans trade up and get him.
Saints like him
I think so, too.
Oh, man.
Koke, what do you think?
I would love for I honestly don't really know where people are sitting in the draft or
he'll be the second quarterback taken behind Mitch Trubisky, but Trubisky will end up going to the Browns.
He's been getting so much coverage since the combine. It's crazy.
As long as Pat doesn't end up going to the Browns.
The Browns or the Bears or the Jets. Please just stay away from those teams.
Right. Texans I can live with because
that's the only team that I want him to go to where he would start, because I think he could have success there with the weapons they have around him in that defense. If he goes to the Browns as a start, his career is
done.
Done.
We'll have another Johnny Manziel situation on our hands just because
Johnny Manziel's coming back too. Look out.
I wouldn't hold my breath for that one for sure. But anyway, people, we got an interesting album game coming up next. Going to put these guys on the spot as usual. It's going to be a little different, so keep it locked to the left. It's going to be fun. All right, welcome back to another awesome edition of Good Fella Friday plus Haylee. The usual crew. It's good to say that again because this whole group has been all over the place this past few weeks. But,
I've been here, bro.
He's been here, so I can count on Andrew Marks to always be here.
My B.
Disgusting.
Wow.
Not hating. I'm just saying. I know y'all got things, but it's nice to have a familiar face.
I've got
That's all
things.
I'm saying. I know. I'm not
jam.
blaming you for it.
Jam.
But for this next segment, for those of you that have been following the show, you know it's probably game time. We got a fun little album game for you guys, and Joel Schgetty's actually going to join us for this one. So we got Andy
competition,
Koke, we
dog.
got Brandon, we got Marks, and we got Haley.
Spaghetti.
Cowboy J.
It's going to be
How y'all doing?
Oh,
good.
You're going to be
Cowboy
Cowboy
J.
J. You're going to be Joel for this one.
What about Sean Hayes?
Ooh.
Yeah, do this, Sean
real
Hayes.
person.
Sean Hayes. All right, Sean
you have
Hayes.
to pick one, Joel.
Sean Hayes will be joining today for Good Morning Texas Tech.
Is that what you're going with?
Yes,
No,
sir.
he's not.
What?
Okay,
Yes,
no, you know what?
like
You're
in
going
nice.
to be Joel today because I'll put you down as Joel.
Boo.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. Usually, I come up with a trivia game where I come up with a description for something,
Yeah, that'll suck.
and y'all have to figure out whether it's true or false, right? So, y'all would think we're going to do the same thing, right?
I think you're gonna do the same thing.
We're actually going to do it a little differently.
Oh,
this time.
really?
Why?
How differently, Brian?
Oh, well, let me tell you, Andrew, it's
So
going to be
differently?
These guys are already salty. We haven't even started. I can feel the tension. I like it. So here's what we're going to do. I have the list of 10 best-selling albums of all time.
Easy.
And so what I'm going to do is go around for each of you, and you have to guess which albums are on this list.
No, I
And
can't
so
do
hold
that.
on.
One at a time.
One at a time, and I'll take a tally for each one that you get correctly. Now,
I don't even
I'm not
know
going to tell
10
you
albums.
I'm not going to tell you which ones are on. So y'all are just going to have to figure that out on your own
Oh
time.
my God.
But
Alright.
What?
Alright.
you are entitled to 2 hints for your turn, and you'll have approximately about 2 minutes to go.
Are we
for
playing
each
Who
of
Wants to Be a Millionaire?
I
We
quit.
might be.
I give up.
This
you.
is.
Except I don't have millions of dollars to give away.
I would
so
have to
Aw.
play.
You're
Who,
just,
who wants to speak on this?
it's basically
Who
a
wants to
pat
speak
on the
on
back.
this?
So we're guessing all 10?
You're guessing
That's
all
insane,
10.
right? I got like one.
Brian,
in my
that's
head.
a terrible idea.
So,
I know, that's why we're going with
too.
it.
I got one.
so we're just going to have dead air for 2 minutes while we think about this?
Here's what's going to happen. So
don't like
I'm going to
it.
start off with you, Mr. Koke, since
Okay.
you're the music director here. Maybe
Oh,
you'll be able to
man.
lead it off for the rest of the group.
Hopefully.
So, Koke,
If he doesn't get more than
I'm
two,
going to give you
I'm gonna be pissed.
I'm going to give you 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So, when you're ready, which is hopefully right now, take it away. Give me your guesses.
For the top 10,
10 best-selling albums of all time. Doesn't have to be a specific
Michael
order.
Jackson, Thriller.
Okay, that's one of mine too.
Okay.
What is it? I want to say
No one's allowed to
Prince.
Google anything, so don't get any funny ideas, people.
Prince, Purple Rain.
Okay.
Beatles
two.
White Album.
Yeah, Beatles. Wild.
Yeah, because DG just helped you with that. I
What?
heard
No,
that
no, no, no.
Keep guessing.
3
guesses so far.
Um.
You're entitled to 2 hints.
Okay.
Okay.
Hint 1.
One of them is a Led Zeppelin album.
Oh,
Oh.
there's so many. There's like,
Which was? Can I get another hint then?
One of them is a Meatloaf album.
what?
Meatloaf is in the top 10?
Meatloaf should not be in the top 10.
The dinner.
Okay, you have 3 guesses.
Yeah.
Just
Shoot.
give me something, man.
I'm drawing a blank right now.
Okay.
Come on,
Well,
music director.
You have about a minute. You're running out of time.
Maybe we can together name 10 albums.
I'm about to. That's not fair. Because then if I say a guess right, Andrew's gonna be like, "Let me guess this one and this one," and then he's gonna get the last.
All right.
Yo,
well,
And then I'm not going to get any,
Koke,
so.
you're about to run out of time.
I'm throwing in the towel.
This
throwing
game
in
is
the towel.
rigged.
All right.
Okay.
I can't.
Let's see.
I got 3.
Too much pressure.
Okay, here we go. Brandon, go.
Michael Jackson, Thriller, Led Zeppelin 3. Is it 3? Led Zeppelin
keep
4.
I'm not going to
Going.
confirm
Led
it or
Zeppelin
not.
1, Led Zeppelin 2, Led Zeppelin. There's like 5 albums.
Yeah,
Led Zeppelin
just
5.
if you name off every album, eventually you'll
Led
get them all
Zeppelin 3,
right.
I thought was like that's not it.
I'm not gonna
Led
tell you
Zeppelin
what it
4.
was.
You're wasting your time.
You're wasting your time.
Okay, you said a Meatloaf album. Meatloaf. Anybody have an album name?
I can't
Why?
tell you the
Salisbury.
name.
Salisbury.
You have a
Okay, okay? I get 2 more guesses though, right? Because he got only 2.
How many
so I
guesses is that? You
You only
guessed
get
like
Oh, I meant
bunch of
like
them.
2 hints. I mean 2 hints. Oh, give me 1 hint. 1 more hint.
That's
Okay.
pathetic.
Bee Gees.
Oh, what?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
the Saturday Night Live soundtrack. Okay, Give me the second hint.
Let's see. No one said anything about Whitney Houston.
Oh, Whitney. Oh, I have it. Is it the orange cover? Whitney Houston. Right? It's not that one.
Whitney Houston.
The self-titled album.
I'm not sure.
Sound like Tyler James.
I'm just.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
We'll get into that inside joke later on.
Oh my.
You're out of time.
Adele. There's an Adele 21.
Yeah, your time is up. All right, Andrew.
Of all time?
All right, I'm gonna guess the Meatloaf album was "Bad Out of Hell," or maybe.
You just have to guess
I'm
the
not
names.
gonna confirm it.
Any hints? Is there any like Queen or?
No Queen.
Is it Blink or?
No, it's definitely not Blink.
Famous Fleetwood Mac album.
Oh crap!
Oh, really?
Oh,
dude. Really?
Really?
Oh boy!
I can see the album cover. I just don't know the name.
I know exactly which one. Oh my god!
Oh boy!
I did not think Fleetwood Mac made it up that high, bro. That's crazy.
Nah, for sure.
We've already said Beatles' White Album.
Yeah.
Purple Rain. That's all I got. I can only contribute to the Meatloaf.
Are you forfeiting?
I'm not forfeiting yet.
But are you skipping?
Pink Floyd, The Wall. That's a good guess, right?
That's a solid guess.
I can't confirm or deny. You made a guess.
I don't know if it was solid, but
Pink Floyd and Meatloaf. Those are my only guesses. Moving on to Haylee.
All right.
Get me out of here.
Haylee, you're on the hot seat. Go.
Okay, so the Fleetwood Mac album. I don't know the names of these albums, but
you have to name me the album.
Okay, the Fleetwood Mac album, Fleetwood Mac, and then the Meatloaf album, Salisbury, and then Purple Rain by Prince, and then Lemonade by Beyonce, and then Pink Floyd, and then Adele. 21, and then Whitney Houston.
All you said was Pink
Tyler
Floyd.
James.
You're just repeating names.
I don't know.
Go with the Tyler James.
Taylor Swift.
You have one more minute.
Can we steal?
Queen.
You can't steal.
Queen. Night at the Opera.
Ooh, that's a guess.
Michael Jackson.
He already said
Thriller.
there's no Queen. So.
Okay, I'm just. You only did 2, so I'm doing better than you.
So, do you need 2 hints, Haylee?
Yes, please. Thank you. I already named like 12 albums, but please.
Let's see. Okay, we already mentioned one. Okay, let's see. Shania Twain.
Really? She's top 10?
These boots are made for walking.
Shania Twain. Yeah.
One more.
Let's see. You already mentioned that one. Let's go with...
I'm winning.
I already said Eagles, but it's not necessarily a specific album.
Can we steal?
You can't steal.
Please.
No.
Desperado?
Song.
All right. Well, you're pretty much
That's it.
you're pretty much out of time already. Okay. Nice attempt there.
I got the most.
That leaves Joel to be our final contestant. Joel, let's see if you can take it for the win.
He's a freaking win because he's the last one.
You know it. Beatles' White Album, Purple Rain, Adele 21, Meatloaf's Salisbury, Whitney Houston Squared.
No!
Squared.
No!
Fleetwood Mac, Pink Floyd, Other Side of the Moon, Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Other Side of the Moon?
Other Side of the Moon?
Oh, wait, no, sorry.
Dark.
Fleetwood Mac and, yeah, Pink Floyd, Other Side of the Moon.
You didn't say what album by Fleetwood Mac.
Oh,
you have to say the name of the album, people, not just the artist.
Fleetwood
I don't know
Mac.
how much I have to reiterate that.
I don't know what
Flying
album.
Continue, move.
Flying Monkeys, sure.
You have one more minute.
Shania Twain's These Boots Were Made for Walking, Eagles' Greatest Hits. And yeah, Eagles' Greatest Hits.
I thought it was like Eagles. Eagles
squared. Eagles.
Can I get 2 hints?
Let's see. I've already given away pretty much the good one.
He's like, you should have been listening.
Okay, well,
I was listening.
Brandon mentioned one that you haven't said yet.
What, the Led Zeppelin one?
Oh,
I can't
Read it.
say
What
which
the heck?
one.
Led Zeppelin. What's a Led Zeppelin album?
Frank Ocean's Blonde.
Disrespect.
Please.
Is there any Elton John?
Wow,
by
I
chance?
know it. I know it now. I got it as soon as
Led Zeppelin.
Lion King soundtrack.
I honestly, I don't know the Led Zeppelin.
Well,
album
you're
names.
about out of time anyway. Joe.
All right. Well, did I win?
All right. So let's tally up the scores, and let me just say you have all done horribly.
If I would have got the hints, like
I'm very disappointed in you, especially Mr. Koke. I thought
What?
you would.
I was the first one. Joel
I thought you
just got all
would have
the
had an
scraps.
upper hand on me.
Whoa.
You're supposed to be the knowledgeable guy on the music department.
Okay,
I
quick.
pooped the bed. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
So was Led Zeppelin Led Zeppelin?
No.
Okay, it was rumors.
Okay, let me read
rumors
off
by
the names.
Fleetwood Mac.
Let me read off the names, okay? Before everyone gets too crazy here.
Nobody
Okay, here's the list that I have. Thriller by Michael Jackson. Back in Black, AC/DC.
Wow! You play that every day.
I'm sorry.
Dark Side of the Moon.
Dark Side. Oh, not Other Side.
Other side of the
To be fair, I was the first one to guess Pink Floyd. So.
Okay. All right. So here we go. We got The Bodyguard by Whitney Houston. Bat Out of Hell by Meatloaf.
Ding 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 ding.
Andrew got that one. Greatest Hits by the Eagles.
I thought Salisbury was created.
That is not it.
Just make up an album and be like
Saturday Night Fever by the Bee Gees. Rumors by Fleetwood Mac.
Rumors, yes.
Come On Over by Shania Twain. Dang. And Led Zeppelin 4 by Led Zeppelin.
So you couldn't just give me 4. I had to say Led Zeppelin.
So I got 3.
Well, here's the funny thing, Andrew. You actually went 1, 2, 3, 5. I don't know. So you literally skipped past the correct
4.
one.
I just called him Andrew, by the way.
Did I really?
Yeah,
I meant Brandon. I apologize.
I literally said 4.
But based on the scores I have here,
I won by
Andy
1 point.
Koke, you got 1 correct.
Yay.
Brandon, you got 2 correct.
Should
Andrew, you got 1. Haylee got 1, and Joel got 1 as well, making Brandon Medina.
No.
Whoa.
Joe definitely got more than
I
one.
got.
Joe said Other Side of the Moon.
You said Other Side
So
of the
then
Moon,
I got
not
2.
Dark Side.
No, that's Dark Side of the Moon.
You didn't say Dark Side of the Moon.
No, but I said
But hey,
Bee Gees and Thriller.
Brian, I still got Eagles' Greatest Hits. I got 2, boy.
That's 1.
It's like
Yeah, that was the only one.
That's the only one you
last
got.
year.
That was the only one you got.
Trash.
So, Brandon Medina, congratulations. You earned yourself a pat on the back. You are today's winner of
lose these
the best-selling album game. Let's go into a music break. We got
Music
Flowing
Data
Over by Pale Hand.
This game's rigged.
All right. How's everyone feeling? Obviously, everyone's a little bit upset except for Mr. Medina.
No, I never lose these games.
If it wasn't for me saying Pink Floyd The Wall, they would have never guessed Dark Side of the Moon.
Exactly. I mean, you just got
So really, I got like 1.5. I got an assist on that one.
That's not a half. You can't. That's a different album.
I got an assist.
No.
I'm upset. I'm really.
Everything's a game to you, Andrew.
I'm like mad I didn't say Back in Black. I just didn't think it would crack the top.
I'm surprised
it was in my head.
Said anything by AC/DC.
It was in my head, but I didn't think AC/DC was going to crack the top.
I even gave it to Beyonce.
I understood the Queen guess. That was a good one.
Stupid.
And then you literally skipped past Led Zeppelin 4. I thought that was really fun.
Watch though. We're going to go back and watch.
Andrew was the only one that got the Meatloaf thing right though.
Yeah.
So that was actually
I'm not surprised by.
No one got Limp Bizkit though.
My parents.
No one got Limp Bizkit.
My parents love Meatloaf. So
I've never listened to Meatloaf. I never grew up on Meatloaf nor heard him. Like, I know he's like.
You
popular.
probably heard of Meatloaf.
I had some other
before.
guesses that I was thinking. I was like, but I don't think they're top 10. Like I was thinking like Elton John, Billy Joel. Like I thought maybe
Barry Manilow.
Yes.
I was thinking Kiss too.
Kiss too. Yes.
I was thinking Kiss.
Joel won. I vote Joel.
Joel didn't. You can't.
Oh,
that's not how it works.
Yes, it is.
Brandon Medina won fair and square. You can't take away his victory like
Wait,
that.
no Beatles album were on there?
Apparently
Joel won
not.
the popular vote.
I'm just saying. Don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me. I'm just trying to host a show.
Joel won the popular.
Oh man, hopefully y'all did a little bit better than these guys. We're gonna move on and sign off here in just a moment. So don't go anywhere. Thanks for sticking with us, people. Good morning, Texas Tech, and welcome back to Good Fella Friday. Now that we've had a couple minutes to kind of cool down after things got pretty heated there, to say the least, is everyone feeling pretty good now?
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I just wish we would have got more helpful hints, you know what I mean?
Hey,
I don't know how
I wish we had a better
they
game show host.
You know what, Andrew? we don't live in a perfect
Steve Harvey?
world. Hey, I gave you all an opportunity to host a show, but no one was up to it, so I'm like, fine. I'll make another game.
There's Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey would have gave it to Joe and then gave it to me after.
I'm an Alfonso Ribeiro kind of guy.
Oh,
so
really?
I would rather have him.
I actually liked it when Al Borland from Home Improvement used to do the Family Feud.
Game show hosts aside, the reason I decided to create that game is
you want
a nice little segue.
Us?
Well, that mainly, but also tomorrow, the KTXT crew from noon to 5 will be out at Ralph's Records to promote Vinyl-thon/Record Store Day, which we're all super excited about.
Yes, sir.
Hype it up! From noon to 5, we're going to be playing everything from a vinyl record, classic style, like it was meant to be listened to front to back. I'm so excited. How are y'all feeling for it?
Oh, I'm bringing like 40 records.
Yeah,
too, so
Brandon usually goes in early to buy all the good stuff.
yeah, I'll be there at 9, and then I'll be there again to work it. But I'm gonna be there when doors open to buy my stuff.
Absolutely, it's gonna be super fantastic. Any albums y'all are gonna be bringing in to play on the airwaves?
You bought me the Bon Iver album, the new one.
I did
for Christmas, Secret Santa. And I'm going to play that for sure. And I also have a few other ones in my personal collection. I'm going to dust off a bit.
I don't have any vinyls, but I'm going to designate Brian's new Welcome to the Black Parade to the collection.
I got the 10th anniversary edition. Oh, my. Of course I'm going to play
that. There has to be quality control, Brian.
Yeah, quality control.
hey, don't be hating on little MCR, guys. We all went through it.
Oh, I love them.
Don't try to deny it. Don't try to.
One of the best albums.
This morning.
That album should be on that top 10 list.
You're darn right it should.
You're darn right.
You're darn right it should be.
It's top 10, not top worst.
I'm super excited for it. We're going to play some oldies. We're going to play some new stuff, a little bit of in-between. It's going to be fun.
Yeah,
all your favorite KTXT people will be there, like the GMTT crew. We're going to be jamming out, just having a good time. We'll be giving away some Alamo Draft House tickets as well. So if you want to get your hands on those, you got to come by and see us and talk with us and share your thoughts on Record Store Day and Vinyl-thon and why vinyl's just a really cool medium that not a lot of people give enough appreciation.
It's come back. It's coming
back. It's getting a little bit.
Even I'm getting into it.
Yeah, and we'll even have some record giveaways too, courtesy of Ralph's Records. So that's going to be a lot of fun. We love working with them. They're always so good to us. So we'll be out there. It's going to be fun. Noon to 5. Ralph's Records. Be there for Record Store Day, and they'll probably have some good deals as well. So be on the lookout for those as well. And for all these updates and anything else going on here at KTXT, you can check it out on our social media handles at the Raider 881. That's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat for updates like these, like remotes, and other of your favorite shows here at KTXT. So that's what's going on tomorrow. Be there or be square, or if you can't be there, keep it locked to the left and listen to some records the old school way. Y'all excited for it?
Oh, dude,
so excited!
Ready? I'm gonna pull through with some Leon Bridges, some Queen, some Elton
some Beatles,
John,
right?
some Beatles.
Maybe some Beatles. Maybe albums that should have been
Stevie
on the
Wonder.
top 10
Yeah,
Salisbury.
Salisbury?
We'll play
that was so good.
The other side.
Salisbury. I can't believe like 3 of y'all said Salisbury.
There's not even. No one would name an album like that.
I've heard Weird to Think. Let's be honest.
The other side of the moon.
The other side.
I'll bring the dark side of the moon. The wall tomorrow.
the wall. Some famous Pink Floyd albums, but be sure to catch us there tomorrow, noon to 5 once again. As for us, we'll be back next week. Keep it locked to the left. Peace out.